Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at this practice worksheet. Look, it says exit ticket on the top. It's not really the exit ticket. It's just a practice worksheet, okay? We just solve some quadratic equations by factoring. Guys, I'm going to do the odd ones. I don't want to do them all for you. You guys, and frankly, I'm going to be honest. You can take all of these and put them in Desmos and see where they cross the x-axis. You can do that. All right, this first one, guys, it has the greatest common factor is 7. So I took it out. Took the 7 out of each one. And guys, again, this is 0 divided by 7. When you have a greatest common factor, it's 7. It just comes out. It doesn't affect the x-intercepts, okay? I'm trying to get this thing to stop curving around so much. Okay, there. Yeah. Anyway, guys, you factor it like this. You have to get the negative 40. Looking for two numbers. When I subtract them, I get 3. So it's 5 and 8. Again, I put this plus sign here, and that negative tells me the signs are different. Just make sure that the big one goes with the plus. And again, so if x plus 8 is 0, x must be negative 8. Or if x minus 5 is 0, x must be 5, okay? All right, number 3 is pretty easy. Has the greatest common factor. First thing you got to do, though, is go ahead and get the negative 15 to the other side. We want this to equal 0. So I'm just subtracting negative 15x from both sides. So now negative 15x shows up on this side, equal to 0. There's the greatest common factor of 3x, so just take it out. All right, again, I'm taking 3x out of both of those, okay? So what's the 3x comes out? What's left? Just x minus 5. So guys, in this case, x could be 0. Because if 3x is 0, what does that mean? X must be 0. Or x minus 5 is 0, so it could be 5. So the answers are 0 and 5, okay? All right, number 5. Again, we have to get it in standard form first. So I just take the right side and bring everything over to the left side. So this says 8, so subtract 8. This says plus 8x squared, so subtract 8x squared. This says minus 5x, so add 5x to it. So when I do that, this side becomes 0. But remember, when I'm doing it to this side, the right side, I also have to do it to this side. I'm not writing it over here, but I'm also doing it to this side. So I take 9x squared minus 8x squared. That leaves us with 1x squared. Then I take negative 12x. I add 5x. That leaves me with negative 7x. And the negative 8, there's nothing to combine it with, so it just comes along, negative 8. So now we have it in standard form. And again, I'm looking for two numbers. Multiply gives me 8. When I subtract them, I get 7. So right away, I find them 1 and 8. Again, make sure little one goes last because I'm putting the negative right here. The 8 has to go with the negative. So this answer, x could be 8, because this is equal to 0. X could be 8 or negative 1. Okay. All right, number 7. All right, guys, there's no greatest common factor, and there's a 2 in front here. So we have to slide it back, all right, in order to factor it. And guys, instead of writing a, I just write x's. So now we have x squared plus 19x, and 2 times 42 is 84. All right, so I can go ahead and factor it. I'm looking for two numbers. When I add them together, I get 19. Multiplied, I got to get 84. So it took me a while to find them. I went down, down, down until I got 7 times 12. 7 times 12 is 84, and 7 plus 12 is 19. Both signs are positive, so I put in my 7 and my 12. And remember now, we slid back to 2, so I have to divide the slide here. And guys, we don't have to bottom up in this case. Just leave 7 over 2 like that. In this case, though, we can simplify. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Just leave it like that, because we just want to know what x is. Because this is equal to 0, okay, it's negative 6 and negative 7 over 2. All right, we can bottom up the 2, but there's no sense in doing it. We're looking for this right here, negative 7 over 2. All right, number 9. We have to get it in standard form first. So I'm taking negative 32 and positive 20k. I'm going to end up being x here. All right, that makes this side 0. So I have to go ahead and subtract 32 from this side and add 20k to this side. Again, I'm just going to make it 20x. So this is what I have now. 3x squared plus 20x minus 32 equals 0. Again, I cannot factor this. I got to slide the 3 back. So that leaves me with 96 here. And I need to find 2 numbers. When I subtract them, I get 20. So I start looking. I end up with 4 and 24. 4 times 24 is 96. 24 minus 4 is 20. And I'm subtracting because of that negative right there. All right, so I go ahead and factor. The first one is positive. The second one is negative. The little goes last. The 4 goes here. The 24 goes here. All right. We slid back to 3. So now I have to divide the slide. All right, 24 divided by 3 is 8. Go ahead and simplify that one. This one, just leave it alone. X minus 4/3. All right, so our answer then is easy to see because this equals 0. So either this one, x plus 8, is 0, which means x can be negative 8. Or x minus 4/3 is 0. So x could be 4/3, okay? All right, number 11. Again, I need to get it in standard form, so I'm going to take these 3 terms on the right side and move them over to the left side. I'm going to subtract 3n, subtract 3n squared, but then I'm going to add 3. Right? You take the opposite of whatever the signs are. So when I do that, y'all, when I take 10n squared and I subtract 3n squared, I get 7n squared. And again, I'm just changing them to x. But I have negative 10n right there. And again, I'm adding another 3 negatives to it. So now I have a bigger negative. So now I have negative 13x. And then that 3 plus that 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 6, okay? Now it's equal to 0 because I got rid of this whole side. It's 0 now. All right, no greatest common factor, but there's a 7 in front, so we got to slide it back. 7 times 6 is 42. All right, then I'm searching for 2 numbers. When I add them together, I get 13. Pretty easy to find because 6 and 7, we just did it, 6 and 7. Right, but remember, this is the one where they're both negative. They're both negative. That negative goes here, and that plus tells you the signs are the same. These are both negative. All right? Well, we slid back to 7, so now divide the slide back out. 7. 7 over 7 is 1. And again, leave this alone. You don't have to bottom up here today. Because we're looking for the solution, not the factor. It's easier just to look at it here and say, okay, it's 6 over 7. That's one of the answers. And this answer is 1. Okay. Also, guys, I wanted to point out the answers are included. They're right here. All right. Just use this to practice. All right. Guys, that's it. Thanks for listening. I'm right at 10 minutes.